So I think,
Sorry, I just realized that that wasn't recording. I thought my note taker that's already always automatically in the room was in the room and it's not. Sorry, carry on.
yeah, so I suppose from the boring accountant type of person, I liked the options of I can choose how do I receive the information. So that was a big positive from my perspective.
Okay, yeah, great. Yes, because we don't want people to feel bombarded by,
Exactly. Yeah.
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 Okay, great. Thank you.
And I'll just say from first impressions, I'm really enjoying the regular updates on WhatsApp because I have opted into having those and I love them. And they're just so interesting and personal, quick to read. You can choose to dive into the videos or not. And I actually have looked at the videos and I just love them. They're very inspiring. But it's just, there's no pressure. And I like that. I can just choose to opt in or not. But I just think they're very thoughtfully done and just inspiring. So yeah, that's my impression.
Great, thank you.
I want to echo that too. I think your writing and your voice is very engaging and real and yeah, it's great storytelling. So I think especially in the long form, I didn't know it was on I didn't know it was I think I've been seeing it in emails and I did see like a little Instagram, I guess from like a I guess my one of the things I think to delve into is like what are the platforms going to be that you're like most dedicated to and what stories take place where and are they all hitting at the same time? I'm not on all of your channels though, so I would ask questions more than assume anything. But I think that's definitely something to think through with a big campaign. And to not be afraid to just to remember that most people aren't seeing everything when you put it out there. You have to throw it out like many times. I'm like really dialed into this because I care about it and I'm providing some input to you. But yeah, it takes a lot to get people's attention these days and even to float up in an algorithm. So I think that's worth looking at.
Yes, absolutely.
And the content itself though is great. Like I really mean I think you're just a very natural storyteller.
Oh, thank you.
You're such a Taylor Swift. It's crazy.
Imagine.
I don't think when I got the messages through and then I did the donation, that was all easy and fine. I didn't have any techie problems. And actually, I really liked that about it. It was so easy just to go, oh, yeah, of course, I'll just give my contribution. For some reason, I feel like I've missed the WhatsApp thing. So maybe there's something about, and I'm pretty sure I was doing it like a little bit of Christmas, New Year chaos in my house at the time when I was doing it. So, which is not unusual for other people as well, right? They're doing this while they're doing a thousand other things. So now I'm like, oh, how do I get on that WhatsApp? So maybe it's worth just like after not banging on to people about, oh, did you know we had this or we had this a thousand times? But I mean, coming back once or twice to say, how are you enjoying the option that you've chosen or options if you want to change or add another option here it is.
Yes. Great. Yeah, there is a form that people automatically get. Well, the page automatically takes you to this opt-in form after you donate, but I wonder if that wasn't there if you donated before or around
Maybe.
Christmas time. It might
Yeah.
not have been there because I think that happened to you too, Sarah, didn't it?
It did.
Maybe.
I was just going to say that's exactly what happened to me. And I think it was because it was before you officially launched the campaign. So I
Oh,
paid
yes.
my donation and then that was kind of it.
Yes.
And so it'd be interesting if anyone has opted in and donated after the 1st of January, if they've had that happen, because you obviously were able to fix that for me because I could just come to you about it. But hopefully that was just a thing that was the case before the campaign.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, we definitely
That's
need
a
to work
follow-up
on that.
email. That's easily solvable, right?
Yes, I
The
can.
follow-up email.
Yeah.
But I also think for me, I want to know how to recruit more people. So like an easy way to do that, like a kit to be able to forward to people to put on my social medias, to be able to easily forward
Yes.
the social media. Like I think that's the piece for me that's like, how are you to make sure you're encouraging people to do that? Because it's not just this one person. It's obviously you really want numbers. So
Yeah.
a kit for people and all Instagrams or all social media to be very easily posted, reposted, all that stuff.
Yeah, I
Yes.
totally agree.
And easy to announce, to share. I've just donated his. Here's where you can find out more.
Yeah. There's automatic buttons too that show like, it pops up and it's like, I just donated. Like, the easier you make it for people, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. We do have those buttons somewhere at the end of the opt-in form, I think. I think they're
Okay.
there. Um, but yes, in fact, someone else has asked me for a template of social media posts that they can share. So I will definitely create that. Yeah. Okay, great. All right. So those ideas maybe we can flesh out in the third part, in the third act. So in the second act, we'll go to Burju. Now you're off camera. I don't know if you're available currently or not, Burju. If you wanted to, hello.
Yes, yes, sorry.
No, no worries. Did you want to talk through your presentation that you've created for schools, or because you're on your phone, it's difficult to read
Yeah,
into?
so if you maybe I can talk a little bit about it, but if you want to read the content, can you read it? Because somehow I cannot see it on my phone. Sorry, I'm
Yeah,
at my
sure.
son's school and only on my phone. One of the ideas that we had was to inspire younger brains to get the importance of caring and sharing and donating. But we didn't really want to go around and ask the kids to donate $10. Instead, we want to inspire them to learn about why it is important to care about the world and to basically to do something. So we actually came up with an idea of creating a template, a PowerPoint or presentation template. But we also thought that we could also make this in video format, like a TED Talk kind of video format where we record this. It can be actually one of the feedback that I got from my husband was we should maybe do it in two, one a short form and one a longer form. Maybe short form could be shared in social media or among WhatsApp groups and so on, and maybe a longer version. So the idea is basically to inspire kids to learn the importance of sharing, and then in the end, hopefully, we get them to donate. Do you want to go through the content, Christy?
Yes, sure. Thank you. And that was good timing because Paula had just been texting me saying she couldn't get in. And so that gave me a little break to be able to send her the link again. So thank you. Okay, amazing. Yes, I'll read through what Burju has given, and then we can, yeah, you can let us know what you think. I'll just say hello to Paula. Hello, Paula. Hi,
Hi,
how you doing? Hi, good
great,
to see
thank
you.
you.
I'm just going to share well, actually, I'm just going to read because there's no visuals and the kids won't read. So I think it makes sense if I read without sharing the slides. Some slides that Burju has put together to inspire kids to join the campaign. Okay. Imagine this for a moment. You wake up tomorrow and everything you rely on, your school, your home, clean water, safety, has disappeared. Not because of something you did wrong, but simply because of where you were born. For millions of people around the world, this isn't imagination, it's everyday life. And today I want to talk to you about why helping others matters, not just for them, but for us, and how we can make a real difference in a way that truly works. But not all of us are this lucky. In many places in the world, $10 means a child being able to go to school, a girl avoiding child marriage, a person having access to clean water or electricity, a solution to a bigger problem. And yes, you can be part of this solution. And today I'm going to tell you why helping others matters, not just for them, but for us, and how we can make a real difference in a way that truly works. In international schools, we learn many important things: languages, science, history, different cultures. But one of the most powerful lessons we can learn is this: we are more connected than we think. Helping others isn't about being rich. It isn't about being an adult. And it isn't about saving the whole world. Helping others is about recognizing our shared humanity. Here is something science and psychology both agree on. Helping others actually makes us happier. When we help, our brains release feel-good chemicals. We feel more connected. We feel purpose. Helping is not a weakness, it is a strength. You might be thinking, I'm just a student. I'm just one person. What difference can I really make? But here's the truth. Every movement in history started with someone who cared. And being part of an international school already makes you special. You see the world not as us versus them, but as one shared home. You are global citizens, and global citizens don't look away. There is a famous story told in many cultures. An old grandfather is talking to his grandson. He says, inside every person, there are two wolves fighting. One wolf is fear, anger, greed, and selfishness. The other wolf is kindness, compassion, hope, and generosity. The grandson thinks for a moment and asks, Grandfather, which wolf wins? The grandfather replies, the one you feed. Every day, each one of us is feeding a wolf. We feed a wolf when we share instead of ignore, or when we ignore instead of share, when we care instead of look away, or when we look away instead of care, when we help instead of stay silent, or when we stay silent instead of helping. Helping others is how we feed the good wolf. And the beautiful thing is, when we feed the good wolf in ourselves, we help it grow in the world too. So today, I invite you to ask yourself one simple question. Which wolf will I feed today? You feed the good wolf when you choose kindness, choose generosity, choose to help others in a way that lasts. The world doesn't need more people who know the answers. It needs more people who care enough to act. And every act of kindness, every donation, every moment of compassion is another meal for the good wolf. So choose wisely and choose generously. Thank you. So, Burju, I love it. It's so powerful. But I'll leave it to the room to give any thoughts. So if anyone just wants to come off mute and speak, Ellie, I see you've done that.
I um I think, I mean, I think the content's powerful. I think what I'm trying to think through is how does this translate easily to getting more people to donate $10? Because you're looking for numbers, right?
Yes.
So I love the idea of kids bringing enthusiasm, excitement, and parents always want to get kids involved with this thing. So I'm wondering if it's like, trying to do like a Valentine's Day thing around like you give a donation, a parent on behalf of your kid, you show love to other kids on Valentine's Day, or if you do like a birthday thing where you try to get parents to donate to their kids. Because I do think that it's I mean, when you're thinking of all the things you need to do and all the different audiences and who you want to reach the most, I'm wondering what if this is going to serve your need to get the numbers that you want in terms of people signed up.
Yeah. Thank you. Good point. Burju, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, so one of the things that we can obviously do is to add more information into the presentation, explaining what Just People do and how the donations help. So that's always something that we can add. This was just an initial point of getting inspiration and so we didn't want to ask them immediately give us $10 and that's it, but it's more
Yeah.
like an educational event for the kids, so that we will be contacting schools to say, here we would like to present at your school about this topic of helping, so that it doesn't look like, okay, just give us $10, and then we can always add like what Just People do, and then if they want to donate, there's this campaign. This could always be added, but I specifically left that part out so that it doesn't look like we're only asking for money.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't directly go and ask kids for money, right? They can like be fundraisers on your behalf and do bake sales or do whatever it is, but like legally, in most cases, we can't do that. Um, so I mean, I'm just thinking logistically, well, what's the end? What's the end goal? There are definitely clubs around here and in schools that you can come into. Like my kids are at ASIJ, so you could have someone come in and talk to like the students advocating for gender equality. Like it's an awesome group, or you could talk to one of the clubs. But it's like it's just a longer runway to getting to a conversion of donors. um, there's a lot of effort that has to go into getting into a school, presenting, and then getting to the point where the kids are excited, and then it gets to the parents who are the ones that are actually donating, right? So I just want you to think through that piece, because it does take quite a bit of effort to get into these schools and get them on board. And it's not that it's not worthwhile, that effort, but I think just not knowing what the strategic goals are in terms of like if we're trying to do quick conversions to get to this number this year, like where does this play in all the strategic efforts and tactics behind them?
Yeah, so one of the things that we were also thinking of, when we create the video of this one, then we can always use it in social media, in other platforms, and link it to the campaign so that people can actively donate. So this is just content to inspire people, and then asking part will be the next step.
Right. So you've talked to the kids, you've gotten them excited, and then somehow you need to reach their parents. Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So um it yeah, I would just think through what that piece is going to look like. Like how does that come next? Like how do you get in front of the parents if they're going to become the ones that are donating to us? You've gotten the kids excited. Is there then like, yeah. Is there an event? Is there a walk? Is there a International Women's Day? I mean, there's something that kind of anchors it, I would say would be helpful. Because ultimately you'll have to get in front of the parents.
I agree with all that Ali's just said. I was thinking, there's that great line at the end, that's another meal for the good wolf, or is it the good wolf? Yeah. And then I was like, oh, I can see like 1 minute snapshots of kids going, this is how I fed my good wolf. This is how I fed my good wolf, which all points back to the campaign and somehow links back to, oh, okay, this is now inspiring kids to think about how they feed their good wolf. And then, by the way, here's the campaign. So I just had that. There was something just about the next step, which I understand this is the first of multiple stages. But I think using that concept of, oh, this is the meal for the good wolf. This is my choice of a meal for the good wolf today, or something starts to anchor it more into something tangible that people can visualize. Because my initial thought was, I'm not sure like, what's the picture you're selling me? I understand the picture of the, I need to make a choice as an individual about how I live my life ethically and how I contribute. But then to take me to the next step, to the campaign, I need a picture of where we're headed collectively as the million, but that might not be what that might not be the purpose of this particular part of the whole thing.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I wonder because of the piece around getting into schools, if if we're able to go in and say, we're running this campaign, we want kids to get involved, or if we have to say we want to answer the question of how kids can help to create a better world. Probably it's better for the campaign if we go in with the campaign up front so that we can so that schools can think about how they can support it. But maybe it's an easier sell for them if we're offering something. So yeah,
But
but I
can
do.
this be sort of a side part to the main campaign? So this is how we can help kids get involved with the campaign, but then we'll have other way about how we're mainly getting the adults involved in the campaign. So this is sort of not the main part, but the way to keep going, keep the momentum going really as the kids get involved and then the parents get involved, then that's going to see like a big jump at that time. But we've started off with the campaign already sort of running parallel.
Yeah, and we did actually consider having a like a kids feed, like good news or snippets similar to what we're giving to the adults, but for kids, like maybe we get kids to share um why they care about charity, or as you said, Samantha, like this is how I fed the good wolf today, breaking down the world's big problems into kid-friendly language and not overwhelming and scary, but like something this is something that humanity's working on. Do you want to be a part of it?
Mm.
So we did think about it. Oh, yeah, I wonder if it is a parallel campaign that feeds into it. Because if we did have something that could get into schools, I mean, each school has, well, not each school has 600 kids, but like schools have a lot of kids, right? And so if the school could commit to getting every child to donate $10 and then every parent, and then some of the kids became fundraisers and went to their networks, then, this is how the numbers could really grow. And so many people are connected to kids. Which means they're connected to schools. So everyone's got probably a school they know of that they're roughly connected to. Um, that if they had a really exciting template, they could approach it and be like, hey, do you want to plug and play this? It's really good for your students.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the way to think about it. Thinking at scale, and then what's the thing you're going in with, and what's the ask for the kids to go do? Definitely.
Yeah.
Um, and so, I mean, I I I think back to like I think one of the best fundraising campaigns ever, right, was the UNICEF. Did you have it? Is this a global thing, the UNICEF boxes? Probably not. Okay, so when I was a kid in the US, we had these UNICEF boxes that on Halloween, we walked around to every house. When we asked for candy, we also asked for money. So people put their change in these
Ah.
boxes. Yeah, so it was really large scale. And I mean, you kind of got the story, but that was probably something that could have been done a little better. You had the pictures of the kids on the boxes, but sometimes you'd have a good teacher that would actually like educate you about what you're fundraising for. And so, you know, giving something to someone, or community events, like kids, like communities love having community events. Schools like something that brings people together for a good cause. So like if it's a kit in a box, like about an event in a box, like what could that look like? I think thinking through what I think there's just that piece of like, what is it going to materialize into when you go into these schools? Um,
And I think potentially having a couple of different avenues is a good idea. Like I'm very conscious that my kids' schools, particularly my kid who's in primary school, is the calendar is packed. Like it is insane. And everybody, and every week there's something on, and the parents are nearly beside themselves. So, but They are also, it's an international school. They also learn about, being advocates. They learn about being global citizens. They learn about wicked problems. So there are many points in the curriculum where something like this could intersect, right, with what they're learning in the classroom. And they're all constantly asking parents to come in and do all sorts of things, talk about their culture or whatever it is, like lots of different moments where that's possible. And I went in a couple of years ago and talked about how to be an environmental activist and how to be an advocate for the environment, just one afternoon. So there are opportunities, but I think having different, potentially, like if you have a kit where you maybe you link it to a something you've already got going on, like a barbecue that's already happening, or you're linking it to a piece in the curriculum, or I don't know, you've already got a day that you're talking about poverty.
Yeah, this
That
was
then gives
actually
the school choices.
yeah, this was actually how we also thought we could approach the international schools. So to have them to contact them, like whether we can talk at one of their assemblies, or if they have a chapter. Most of them generally have this kind of chapters in their curriculum. So that would be the main way to contact the schools and ask them whether we can. This would be what we would present at the school, or like this would be the content that we would feed. So that's actually our starting point, how we can approach the international schools, and asking them if they have any topic in their curriculum that we can come and talk, and or at the assembly, and we could do this presentation. That's definitely good part, and that's the starting point.
I'm wondering, from your projects that you fund, what are there things that you feel like would really come to life for a student, for like a student body? Is there something, like you show water filtration, or, what are the things that are happening on the ground that could then make this more tangible for students and be a
Yeah.
learning opportunity?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's clean water in schools, there's education for kids living in slums, childcare, safe birth, maternity health, these sorts of things that are kind of that kids would understand, I think.
Yeah.
And actually, once I did, because the school that Burju's at, they were fundraising for Just Peoples a few years ago, and so I got a video from Liz, who's one of the leaders we support, who works with Maasai kids with disabilities, and so she created a video explaining about the problem, which is that disabilities are not accepted in that society, and then her solution, and then how much each $10 would pay for, that kind of thing. And we showed it at assembly. I introduced it, and then just they showed the video, and the kids ended up standing up and clapping, and the teachers, like it was a real moment, you know. And then one of the teachers, one of the social studies teachers, came to me and asked if her class could speak to Liz, because they were learning something. I can't remember what they were learning, but anyway, it was relevant. So then we set up a live call between Liz and the class, and then the class was asking her all these questions about Maasai culture and her work and this kind of thing. And it was wonderful. And the school raised 25,000 USD, which was
Fantastic.
fantastic. Yeah, it was.
So what happened after so you had the assembly, some of the classes talked to Liz after, and then where did you get in the ask for the money? How did that happen?
Well, because the school had already decided to fundraise, and they were looking for an international charity at the time. And so they asked me if I had something, and so I said yes. And then I arranged the videos. So the school was already doing a fair, and then we became their charity
beneficiary. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
But this was like the school, or the people at school were already aware of Just Peoples, right? So by doing this presentation, we make the school aware of Just Peoples. So that's like the step before this
Yes.
comes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yes, someone
Yeah.
had heard, actually, so, yeah, someone had heard that I ran a charity, and she didn't even know that my son went to the school. And she said, "Oh,
Oh, really?
yeah, do you have anything? TAS is doing this thing." And I'm like, "Oh, my son goes to TAS, you know."
Oh,
Yes,
no.
so it worked out really nicely like that. But yes, it's that awareness for the schools as well. Because I see my son's new school in Singapore are raising money for something in Vietnam, and I've thought, oh, I probably should let them know about me.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think
And
we can give a better experience than just a charity recipient, because we can connect them, you know,
right,
Mm.
with the
right.
communities they're supporting, and do that kind of Q&A, and like go so that the kids can really be like, wow, we're making a difference. I know exactly the difference I'm making, you know.
Yeah, well, maybe that's kind of like that's the menu you give the schools because they all have
Mm.
different programs they're running and they have different, different areas of their SDG goals that they focus on. And
Hmm.
so if you're like, we have a person that can talk to this, we
Mm.
have a clean water specialist that can talk about what they're doing on the ground here, and then they can choose what would fit into their existing curriculum. I mean, I think that'd be a great way to do it, but then it's that fundraising piece, like you were able to be the beneficiary of an event. So if they have those already existing, um, that's obviously an easier way to get the money than just like then having to go back through the students to the parents, which they might not allow you to do. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm wondering too, if you're a beneficiary, were you able to get the names of people? Were you able to get them into your database, or was it just that you got the money from the school?
We just got the money from the school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So most people didn't really know about us.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's that piece, right? Because it's really important for you to capture names because you're trying to grow your membership.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm
Um,
just thinking as well, like at my kids' school at the end of year 6, they do a 2-term thing exhibition, and so they have to all their projects. They do this 2-term long projects they choose. It's always linked to a sustainable development goal, and then the parents all go around at the end. They do presentations and all these sorts of things, and then they go around. It's like a fair where you learn about the various sustainable development goals. And I'm just thinking, there's something there that you could link to. And by the way, here's an actual person on the ground working on this very issue.
Yeah.
Uh, and the kids could, there's a thing of the kids could be like, we raise this amount of money for this group, and then the I don't know, violence against women are like, we raise this money for this, and then the water people are like, we raise this money for this. Like, so schools who do something like that, that's all. I don't know if all IB schools do that, but certainly my kids' school does. um that's a way through the sustainable development goals. There's a way in that links very tangibly, I think, to the Just People's partners and the work that they're doing.
Which school is this? Sorry if I may ask.
This is in Canberra in Australia,
Oh,
so it's yeah.
so you can do the
It's famous.
presentation
It's Red
there.
Hill. I don't know if you would know it.
Yeah, and along these lines, maybe it's obvious, but what's coming to me is, of course, getting the teachers on board, right? If there's something that you can link to the curriculum in terms of giving the kids access to this, information about the projects or the people leading the projects or the impact of the projects and so on, and getting the teachers on board because the teachers themselves are potential donors as well.
Mm.
They
Mm.
have a network as well. I mean, as someone who doesn't have kids and doesn't frequent schools, I it seems to me that there's too many steps in what you're proposing to actually get the 10 bucks from it's like you have to get into the school has to run a program, the program has to convince the child has to convince the parents have to say okay, so it's a very long chain. But I arrived late, so there might be things that I missed. But I wonder if there is a more effective way where you don't have to go through such a lengthy process. to actually get the donations.
And I think that goes to like, what's the vision, Christy, in terms of donations, influence, impact, like the vision that you and Joe have for like what matters to you, like what matters first and then what matters sort of down the track.
Yeah, okay. That's a good question. I think because there are sort of two dual focuses. One of them is 1 million people, $10 million for poverty reduction, which is just a big impact in and of itself. But then the second thing, and it's probably almost, well, I don't know if I'm more passionate about it, but what I'm very excited about is this kind of changing the world piece. And this is like getting the kids to really know, and also people, people and kids, but like kids are really important, to grow up with that hope and that knowledge that you can make a tangible difference. Because if we're going to actually remove poverty from the earth, we need people to believe that it's possible. So I'm excited about the numbers, knowing that they can do that. But I think probably they'll feel it more if they donate, because then we can speak to them and we can say, this is what your $10 did, and then they've got that buy-in. So yes, I would say the impact, number one, or equal, is the people believing or knowing that it's possible, because that's how we will, really reach that critical mass where we can feed our collective good wolf, in the world, and do something towards shifting the balance more away from these sort of Trump maniacs into something more loving, and for people to feel a part of it. And that's another part of the Eras tour. So even though people were, consumers paying a lot of money to go to this concert, but they felt huge belonging, and among themselves, and they felt hopeful and part of something, and it was essentially good. It was very inclusive, and they were singing together in the streets and swapping their bracelets and this kind of thing, and they really felt like it was a huge movement of people that felt we're part of something good here, and so I'm really excited about that part as well, for people to really feel that the world is good, that humanity is good, because it's hard to feel that when you read the news.
Mm. Mm. So I'm not sure if any of this is relevant, but I've been really enjoying listening to this and taking it in. I just want to make a couple of comments. So one is, I like, as someone who's passionate about the Good World thing, and all of us sitting here obviously are passionate about this campaign. I have already talked to my two boys about it, and I want them to donate. So I just want us to remember there's that avenue as well through parents. This is probably too left field, but like, because my boys are 18 and 26, so they're a bit older. But my 18-year-old is in year 12 in an Australian school, and they have selected their charity for this year. They do a big walkathon, and they usually raise $50,000 to $70,000. So it's a lot of money.
Wow.
And obviously, timing's been bad because I would have put this one on the list for them, but they all vote on what they select, and they selected a mental health charity for young people, which is great. But also, it's the financial literacy thing too. Like, in Australia anyway, there's a lot around the barefoot investor. And, when young people start working, encouraging them, there's a barefoot investor for young people, which our boys have both done, and they put aside 10% of their wages towards charity. And, there's not enough of that, I think, at school yet around financial literacy and teaching kids how to manage their money, but also how to give back. And I'm not saying that's relevant now, because I don't think that's a short-term piece in this campaign, but I understand we can have things running in parallel. I kind of want to mention it because I just feel like this is something that is so accessible. And I get you want younger people to be involved to change the world too, Christy. Like, that makes really good sense. But I suppose my point, those are just reflections that may or may not be relevant. I suppose my point is that in the first instance, I think it might have been Ali who said previously, I'm super keen to promote to all my networks this campaign. And I've shared it with some friends, but I don't feel I've done it as well as I could have because I'm not sure if I've explained it in the best way and had that kind of common template to share. And if there was one, Christy, I did miss that, sorry, in the when I signed up.
There's
And I
not.
also want to talk more to my family about it, like my immediate family, but my extended family. And I think that in the first instance, that's going to help us access some young people. But I really support the idea that there's a strategy to access younger people in other ways, like more strategically in the longer term, to build the education and also to encourage them to see how they can actually easily get involved and actually change the world. Like you're saying, like this is actually so accessible, which is one of the huge attractions of this campaign. Like it actually is uplifting. It creates hope. And we want young people to be involved in that. So anyway, I'm not sure if any of that stuff is relevant, but it was just kind of what was in my head. So I thought I would share it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Thank you. Yeah, that thing about financial literacy, like if kids become fundraisers, and when I say kids, I mean
Yeah.
they could be teenagers or
Mhm.
whatever. But like if you run a fundraising project, I mean, as you know very well, Ellie, like it's a big deal. Well, it can
Mm,
be big or small. Like you can just ask your mum for $10. That's the very
mm,
minimum. But like it can actually be really, really good life skills like budgeting,
mm, mm,
planning,
mm,
hosting, public speaking,
mm, mm.
creative. I mean, you can go to town. It's amazing work experience. So we could even, that could be another thing that the kids get this opportunity to manage a project that
Yes.
where they have to raise money and maybe
Mm,
they have a
mm.
target, maybe they have to work in a team, and then and maybe they compete with another team. I don't know, and then
And and they could also help tap into that younger demographic too, couldn't they? Because they would know the best ways to
mm,
communicate and to
yeah,
create like a campaign, a
Mm.
sub-campaign to your campaign to access more young people in more schools and such, that could be
yes.
really exciting actually and effective.
It could be like
Mm,
maybe they
mm.
go viral on TikTok, 'cause
Exactly,
there are
exactly.
some
That's
real superstars. I mean,
I mean, because I'm not going to do that for you,
I'm
but
not
they
going
might be
on
able to do that.
TikTok, no way. But I've seen when I went to the school concert, there are some natural superstars out there
Mm.
already. So if
Yes,
we could get
exactly.
those natural superstars on board, it's actually a really good opportunity for them as well to flex their own
Yeah.
skills and to see what they are excited about as they start their careers, you
It
know?
would be very empowering, actually. Just for young people, I think it's amazing.
Yeah,
Mm.
I think it could be really good. Purdue, you've got
I
your
think
hand
just going on from
up.
what Sarah said there, like in terms of building the literacy and that for the kids, like can we reach out to people like the Barefoot Investor and say, hey, this is what we're doing. Can you spread that to your network?
Mm,
I mean, I
mm,
know that's just an Australian thing, but it still could go sort of worldwide from there. And then, really, in terms of the goal for educating the kids and making them feel like they have a better world, perhaps that can sort of also springboard from the whole Millions campaign. So if we
Mm,
can get to have the information ready for the kids and be talking to the kids in the background, but then if they start
mm.
hearing their parents or older people talking about the Millions campaign, then they can feel that they're being involved. Oh, I know what that is, blah, 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 blah.
yeah, yeah. I don't know what the Barefoot Investor is, but I'm going to look it up. And yes, I think we will definitely need to reach out to these already established organizations that are aligned so that they can help us spread the message.
I'm
Purdue, oh,
happy.
sorry.
I'm happy to look into the Barefoot Investor thing and to see if there's a way I can contact them because I know I just forgotten the name of the author, but it's a big deal in Australia.
Yeah.
And
Got
let me
something.
just look into that and I can come back to you and also just ask if that's
Cool.
helpful, Christy, because you've got
Ye-
a lot on your plate.
Yes,
And I
thank
can
you.
help you with that, Sarah, if you like, because I subscribe to that. So if
Oh,
you
that'd
want
be
me to
amazing,
help you,
Belinda.
yeah,
Yep.
if maybe we can touch base offline and sort of figure out how we're
Yep.
going to approach that.
I would love to do that. That would be great. So if we could be, I'm sure Christy can connect us,
Oh,
can't
yes, I'll
you?
connect you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
amazing. Thank you. That's
That's awesome.
fantastic. Whatever it is, this barefoot investor,
Yes.
I'm excited.
It's a guy,
Cool.
right, helping Australians become financially literate,
Yes.
Yeah.
basically.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yes.
And it's just
Cool.
easy and told in very like
Like
accessible
plain
language.
language.
So
Yeah.
people are like, oh, we
Exactly.
understand
Oh,
this.
that's
So
so
this
good. Oh,
person having to
well, one
explain
of
it
the
to
parts
us.
Yeah.
that Grace works in financial literacy in Kenya.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we even have a project that's aligned. But that okay, that sounds
Yeah.
amazing.
And I
But
think that idea of like the quickest way to grow to 1 million is just to partner with a few people who already have really big audiences. It'll
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
literally, that's the quickest way to do it.
Yeah.
yeah, yes, yes.
So being strategic about that, even do you know 1 Million Women? I don't know if you've had a look at their campaign. So do you know who I'm talking about?
It rings a bell, and I feel like I was part of it at a certain point, but I'm not sure.
So
Maybe.
they've got over 1 million women taking small actions around climate change. And she grew that, she's Australian as well. She grew that over time. She just was like, I'm going to hit 1 million. We're going to have this big influence around climate change, and we're just going to grow bit by bit by bit. So they actually have their numbers on their page. Like they've got over 1 million people in their community right now interested in climate change, but there could be, you could easily link to, they're constantly running campaigns. So there's definite potential there for some sort of partnership for them to potentially, add this as one of their campaigns, looking
Yeah,
at
yeah,
poverty
absolutely.
and climate change together.
Because some of the projects are related to climate change as well. So
Yeah,
some of the impact
exactly.
specifically. So
Yeah.
yes, okay, that's really good. Thank you. Burju, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, what Sarah mentioned inspired me for another idea. So maybe we could do like a weekend where we ask the kids to do fundraising in their own communities. And then this could be like a whole project also where we also create content for social media and other communication tools. And well, I can maybe ask my son to go to a park and I don't know, get some donations. And if we do it like on a particular, let's say, weekend or on a Saturday, then this could be a whole worldwide thing where we generate this as a campaign. So just something to think about.
Is there like an international day for the elimination of poverty or something like that?
Yeah, something like that on that day as well.
That's when you would,
I'm sure there is.
I'm sure there is. There's an international day for everything else in the world, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It surely is one on poverty.
Yeah.
There's
You
surely
just
one.
make your own day. If there's not, just make your own
That's
day.
right.
Yeah, can just make our own
Yes.
day. Yeah. No, that's a really cool idea. So like do one weekend where we get lots of
Yeah.
people in different cities
Yeah.
and do it
Yeah,
all at
exactly.
once.
Like all at once, and then we could do it like we could capture photos if they want, obviously, or videos, and then make it. I mean, advertise it obviously in advance so that we have contributors doing this, participating, and then going around and asking for me. Like this is um I can't remember. Sorry, it was Andy, the name in the UNICEF thing,
Ellen.
going around with the
Yeah.
box. So another idea of doing that. I mean, I can imagine like going around Orisugawa Park on a Saturday and asking for 10, well, I don't know, 1,000 yen or something.
Yeah. Yeah. You would get it from so many people.
Yeah.
At Arisugawa Park. You probably know them all already anyway. I think that's
It's the
I think that's
17th of October.
sorry.
The 17th of October, the International Day for the
Yeah,
Eradication of Poverty.
Oh,
There you go.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
a
maybe
really
do
good
it on that
idea.
day. Mm.
17th of October. Yes, my ex-boyfriend's birthday. Let's do
And
it.
it's meant to be.
Let's do it. That's a really cool idea. I think so. And yeah, yes, I think that's a really good idea. And because we can create a template for everyone who signs up their kid or all the kids that sign up, we can
Yes.
have, this is everything you need. Here's your little UNICEF boxes, whatever it is,
Yes.
like here's your kit. And then it's
Yes,
plug
and
and
then we can
play.
send it to them, and then they can keep the box, and like how they have these popcorn boxes in Disneyland, maybe something like that, and then they get to keep it as a remembrance.
Yeah, yes, we can think of some little, yeah, some little thing so the kids get something out of it. And yeah, maybe it becomes a little project that they have to manage among themselves, you know. with a team or something. But yes, I think we should definitely look into that. I'm aware that it's that we're at time. So yeah, thank you all. This has been really incredible. Does anyone have any final thoughts just before we leave that you've wanted to say but haven't had a chance yet? Just so that we don't, just so that we capture it. Okay. Otherwise, thank you all so much. I feel so invigorated by this, and I've had a tough week, and now I feel much better. So, thank you all for like bringing the energy. Yeah, I really believe that we can do this, and that it can be fun. You know, really fun, as fun as a Taylor Swift concert. Yay!
And I think, Christy, can I just add to that? I think when you get your pack growing, like things will happen organically through it. You know, there will be a school group that's going to be like, we're really interested in this and we want to do this. Like, you know, when you get your numbers, like magical things start happening too.
Yeah.
So like just remember that also. Like you've got a great mission, you've got a great campaign. And you know, things are gonna there will also be that thing that happens organically too. Like with T Swift, you know, like her group,
Yeah.
her fans have grown around her. She feeds them, but like they also, you know, have
They're the
taken on the
generators of
fandom. You know,
Yes,
yeah,
that's
they take it the
true.
fandoms take on their own thing. Like you feed them, but then they grow things in their way that makes sense for their communities, that makes sense for how they're inspired by it. So um so I think that piece is important too. Have faith, it's coming to you.
Oh, yes, that's such a good point. That is such a good point. Yeah, people will take it on and localize it, right? Right, according to what works for them. Yes, thank you, Burju.
Yeah, and I think we should really look into getting her somehow engaged. Like, on social media, there are all these campaigns where, like, I don't know, if Spice Girls comments on this message, my husband will cook for me, or whatever, this kind of thing. So I think, why not think big? Maybe, I mean, we need to think about a way to get her engaged as well.
Yeah, yeah. Everything's possible, isn't it? And she does do stuff like this, apparently. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And just quickly before we wrap up, I think what you read was very powerful. There's a lot of material there that I think can also be used and shared in smaller chunks, or illustrated or sequenced in such a way that it supports. I mean, I think that it really conveys the message very clearly, and there's a lot of very powerful pieces in there. So don't put it aside. Make sure you exploit it because it's good.
Definitely. Yes, I plan to exploit all of it, Burju. Thanks, Paula, for pointing that out. It's a really good point. Yeah, I found it very powerful. I think it really speaks to what we're trying to do, reach the hearts and minds. Yes. Okay, thank you all so much. This has been wonderful and so good to see all your faces as well. And yeah, Belinda, I'll connect you with Sarah, who's just gone. And I'll see you all soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Bye.
Bye,
Thanks. Nice to see
everybody.
you, everyone.
Bye.